brother, my former teammate, and now no one can ever take this away from you. CFL Hall of Famer. How does that sound to you, Chad Owens?
Look, man, first of all, appreciate you for having me. It's it it sounds cool, you know what I'm saying? It has a little ring to it, CO2 Hall of Famer, but I've kind of answered this question before, I don't, and you know this, man, when you play, when you're in it, you're not thinking about the end. You're not thinking about, man, I want to be a Hall of Famer. The thought process is, I want to be a better version of myself this year. I want to outdo what I did last year. I want to be the best receiver. I want to be the top return guy again. Or whatever your personal goals are as a player while you're in it. I want to help this team win the Grey Cup. That's number one. You don't think about the end. Um, and once I got the call, I was speechless. I was in awe. And I don't know, man. I guess it still hasn't sunk in. I think it's probably going to hit come September when we're actually up there and getting the jacket, doing the speech, seeing the bus unveiling, so that's when it's going to hit. But it's truly special, man. It really sort of capped off that thought of, man, did enough? Was it all worth it? And that's what comes to mind when I hear Hall of Fame.
Listen, man. I'm excited for you to go through that process, man. I feel like, you've given the game so much. And you played the game how it's supposed to. You gave it everything you had, emotionally, physically, and everything. And then the accolades speak for themselves. I mean, I'm looking down the list. Um, Multiple years All-Star, 2010 to 12, 2014 CFL East All-Star, 10 to 14. The amount of games and the amount of catches, the yardage, most outstanding player in 2012, CFL record for most all-purpose yards in a regular season with 3,000. I mean, like, I could keep going. Two-time Grey Cup champ. Man, out of all of those accolades, man, which one to you is like, man, that's the one that's most special for me?
You know what, Knock? I think you know I came into the CFL, or I went to the CFL just looking to play football, right? Because of my time in the NFL, it was what it was, and I said, man, I just want to play ball. Like, so when I got to the Canadian Football League, I just wanted to play football. I just wanted to play. I wanted to prove that, man, I'm good enough to play at the professional level. And so my mindset was just on grind mode, bro. It was hungry. I was starving. And after that 2010 season with Toronto, I just felt okay. Like, I'm really about to do this here. I got the confidence. I know I can do this. Let's keep getting better. And that's exactly what I did, man. 10, 11, and then when 12 came around, that off season, bro, I set out goals. I legit wrote them down. I got to go find them. I don't know if I can find them. I legit had these goals written down that sparked the motivation from off season. I said, number one, we got to win a Grey Cup. It's in Toronto this year. We got to win a Grey Cup. I want to lead the league in receiving. I want to lead the league in all purpose yards and in the return game. And if I accomplish all of that, shoot, who knows? Maybe I could be an MOP. And I got to check every single one of those boxes off that year in 2012. And so I think that was probably the most special year personally. And you know, it'll be hard to top that. Almost. I include the playoffs, man. I went over 4,000 yards that year. I prep myself in the off season to endure all of that what I do in the season, and it came forth, man. So yeah, 2012, man. That was a special one for me.
You talk about that 2012 year, man. I'm trying to put myself back, and I remember, like, I'm just getting into myself right now. I'm a second year guy in the CFL, and listen, to say the least, you were motivated me, and along with a lot of other cats that were watching, a lot of other fans that were watching. Um, Part of that is also just like that story of the underdog that everybody loves so much, right? You talk about how you were in Jacksonville and your time in the NFL didn't last as long as you would have hoped for or you thought it should have, and so you want to play ball and you come up here to the CFL and you're trying to get it going. And I love the accolades that I mentioned. And there's more, but you impacted the game in so many different ways. What are some of the stuff that we weren't able to see? What are some of the stuff that I couldn't see when I was playing against you and I'm watching you on TV terrorize other teams? Like, what are some of the stuff that you were going through that were really motivating you to become CO2 that we know and got to love over the years?
Honestly, bro, I just think once I got into the game and felt the amount of space that I had to work with, I was like, this, bro, this is it. Like, I'm about to get busy. It was just too much space, knock. In the return game, the halo, I'm like, wait, you giving me 5 yards to just catch it and like dissect? Like my mentality was, oh boy, like this is gonna be fun. And at the end of the day, if you can continue to play the game as a professional the way you did your entire life as a kid, going through high school, going through college, which was fun, the natural abilities just come. You ain't got to think. You just go out there and have fun, and that's what I did the moment I got up here. The moment I was able to start playing in 2010 with the Argos, and bro, I mean the rest is history. And that's what I saw. I saw an opportunity that because I believed in myself, understood what my skill sets were, and I knew what I could do. But then when I take that and I see the opportunity, how the game is played, in the return game, the waggle, the space, and using my ability to elude people and make people miss, and use my agility to create separation, and my understanding of defenses, studying, pre-snap reads, the whole entire package. I looked at it and said, man, I can really do it here. I can be successful in this game.
We spent quite a bit of time in this league that we love. And I crossed paths with a few people that were trying to, claim, that they were there and they were the ones that made you who you are. And I kind of stayed quiet a few times in some of the conversations. But when I think about Chad Owens and I think about how essentially you really had the league in the chokehold for years. I mean, I talk about the fear that some of the guys and teams that I used to be on, and we used to have to talk about, man, look, we're kicking away from number 2, and if he gets it, if you are in the halo, take the penalty. We'd rather have the penalty than let him return the touchdown. Yeah, I said it. I'm
So
being
that was the
real.
coaching point. So
I'm
that was
being
the coaching
real.
point.
But
That was the game plan.
it speaks to obviously the level of play that you brought to the game, to the league, and everything. But I think I'd be remiss if I don't touch on this, because I remember coming into the league in 2011 and I interviewed with the Argos, and one guy that really that I will never forget about an interaction that we had. His name was is a guy by the name of Mike O'Shea, right? And he also obviously coached you in special teams, and I feel like he had a say and had a huge role into the success that you had special teams wise, right? Talk to me about that union and how you and him maybe worked, and then also how you're able to kind of see the success that he's having at the head of the table out there in Winnipeg with the Bombers.
I can't say enough about Mike O'Shea. You know, certain guys that certain coaches that you never got to see them play, but you heard about how they played and what made them great. That's why he's an amazing coach. Is because he has no. I'm just going to say this. When Osh, I think that was when I first got to Toronto. That was Osh's first year coaching. He was brand new to it too, so he didn't have his ways, his style. This is how I do things, and this is how you're going to do it. a lot of coaches can get into this vibe of like, man, I've been doing this for so long. I know what I'm doing. That's how it's done. Osh was an open book. Me and Osh would sit together, just he and I, in his office, and game plan, returns, create. I'd draw up stuff with him. We would be creating stuff together. And to me, that's what made him special. Because he knew, because he was a player, it's like he understood, and he never returned. So he understood. It's like, see, oh man, this is what you do. So, coach me up, So we sat together for, bro, I'm just going to say years, right? Because we were together for all that time. And really, Coach O'Shea, man, was truly, truly special in that, he allowed me to be me. He allowed me to kind of be creative and kind of scheme up game plans, cross block. Okay, this guy, we're going to double this guy. I like that. I think this is we can attack this soft spot in their coverage team. Like, we were doing that together. And then it trickled into me coaching up our return units, kind of explaining to them, guys, like, if you miss your block or you're chasing, don't worry about it. I got them. I'll make them miss. Go to the next level. Go help out. Go do this, right? Guys just started to buy in because I was coaching them on how I wanted them to block and all these things. And the unit really became a unit. It became a weapon. The entire unit became a weapon. So, I'm not surprised that Mike O'Shea is having the success he's having in Winnipeg because, you heard about how he did it as a player, studied him and Orlando Steinauer, right? Those two guys were on that team in Toronto that they did everything else that others weren't willing to do. And it trickled into them understanding from first as a player's perspective, and is why they're become great coaches. And I can't say enough about Osh, man. I love him to death, and truly, truly special and thankful that he was sort of my coach, my special teams coach, while I was there in Toronto, man. Because without that type of relationship, without that type of openness, I don't know if I'm having the success that I'm having. Because that's what happened to me and I hate to bring up the NFL, but man, I had a coach that it was his way, and I wasn't free, so I was like almost kind of pressured into doing things that I wasn't comfortable doing, that I never did my entire college career. So it showed, you know what I mean? So this just goes to show, man, coaching can really make a player's career, or it could break it.
Honestly, I speak on behalf of, um, the player that competed against you, that played with you, and all of the other guys that did as well. I speak on behalf of the CFL fans when I say thank you to your contribution to the game, to the league. But here's my question to you, because and that's one of the things that I know in my later years of playing as well, I was focusing on trying to kind of get it through the young guys specifically. What is it, in your opinion, that the game has given you? Because you've given so much to us, the fans, the players, the coaches. You've given so much of yourself. What is it that the game has given you that you're still benefiting from till this day, now that you're not even playing anymore?
Yeah, man, great question. Honestly, not, and I probably as well speak for all of us. At some point in time, we had to learn to wait and be patient for our opportunity. Like, that's what the professional game does to you. You got to learn patience. You got to understand that your time will come, and even if you get that time right away, right? You played as a rookie. There's other things that happen that you have to then again wait. You have to wait out an injury. You have to heal up. You have to get back. You have to be patient with your recovery. You have to be patient with your trainers. You have to learn to be patient with other people. You got to learn that, hey, just because I did everything in my power right this offseason, shoot, maybe my teammate didn't. because it's a different, different guy, different mindset. You got to learn to deal with that. So I think as a professional football player in the Canadian Football League, I learned patience. I learned perspective, um, just from seeing others do it, seeing how it's done, uh, and then having more of the experience. I gained that experience to see veterans, and then how I'm going to be a veteran. When I become a veteran, how I'm going to treat the young guys. Because, I'm not going to just kind of, because this happens everywhere. You know that someone's coming gunning for your spot. Why help them out? Hey, man, fend for yourself. That's how I have to do it. Right. So I chose to give back. I chose to share. I chose to, you know, um, give them all I had, like everything I knew, and I knew about the game and learned about the game. I poured into the young guys, and so and I'm proud of that, because that's at one point I was them. I know that. So my perspective was that I'm going to pour into them. I'm not going to hold back because I want to hold on to my job, because I'm confident. I'm confident enough in myself, and I believe enough in myself to know that it don't matter how much I give you, you'll never be me. And I don't say that egotistically, not. It's just I know what I do and how I processed and how I do what I do, man.
I just want to say, man, congratulations. I see you lifting out there. I don't know if you plan on coming back as a linebacker, fullback, or what, but continue to do what you're doing, man. Like I said, I appreciate your time. We appreciate what you've given to this league, to this game, and can't wait for to see the this whole process come to fruition for you and your family. Aloha, my brother.